Nicole Kidman filed for divorce from her husband of 19 years.
They're separated in the early summer, so you're thinking June, and here it is the end of September, so over 3 months of separation.
Well, folks, the country queen and Hollywood's ice princess just hit the final note of their duet. Kidman-Urban and Nicole Kidman are officially done, and let's just say the breakup soundtrack is spicy.
They still wanted to try and make the marriage work. Well, not too long after that, we learned that she had kind of given up on that ever happening and had in fact filed for divorce.
For years, they served couple goals so perfectly it made everyone else's marriage look like a bad reality show. But turns out, while we were swooning over their red carpet makeouts, the love story was quietly skipping tracks behind the scenes. The fairy tale that started in 2006, complete with Australian accents.
She's magical.
It takes a good woman, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
Matching tans and enough hair volume to start a shampoo line has officially gone platinum in heartbreak. Sources whisper that the pair had already split lifestyles before they split headlines. Keith was out strumming across continents on his High and Alive tour, while Nicole was too busy summoning witchy energy on Practical Magic 2 to notice the marriage going poof. But here's where it gets juicy. Insiders claim Nicole wasn't just mad about distance, she was mad about disinterest.
Are hearing that Kidman-Urban, at least this is the belief of the people who are in Keith and Nicole's circle, is involved in a relationship with another woman.
Word is, she felt like Keith had tuned out her comeback symphony, leaving her to belt solo while he strummed elsewhere. It's giving supportive husband who energy. For years, the Urbans played Hollywood's favorite act, the hand-holding, the blushing speeches, the Insta love fest that made cynics believe in romance again.
Is it something that predated the separation? Is it something that has happened after the separation? That's the big question, and unfortunately...
But those close to the couple insist it was more performance than passion. A glossy PR duet to keep the spotlight flattering and the fans swooning. So while their love story once hit all the right notes, the final chorus came out flat. Turns out, even the prettiest harmonies can't survive when one half of the band stops singing.
Of their 14 and 17-year-old kids, I'm talking about possible child support, alimony, everything like that was already squared away and they had both signed off on it. So while they're not...
Behind those glossy magazine smiles and slow-mo red carpet kisses, the Urban Kidman love story was quietly doing a nosedive. Sources say that when the spotlight faded, the fairy tale turned into more of a silent film, lots of staring, zero dialogue. Apparently, the couple who once melted hearts couldn't even melt ice in their own kitchen. Nicole was off chasing Oscars and witchcraft. Keith was lost in a sea of guitar riffs, and their home life had all the warmth of a hotel lobby at 3 a.m. Insiders dish that their over-the-top PDA, those two perfect handholds, those "you're my everything" speeches, weren't just romantic gestures, they were public relations choreography. One source even joked they had better chemistry on the red carpet than in their living room. It wasn't love, it was lighting, camera angles, and damage control. As time went on, the cracks became less tiny fracture and more Grand Canyon. Nicole started showing up to Hollywood events solo, ring-free and radiant, while Keith's tour schedule suddenly became a masterclass in strategic distance. He'd gush about his fans, his guitars, his boots, basically everything except his wife. The illusion of wedded bliss lived on for the cameras, but privately, their marriage was less about romance and more about brand management. And here's the Hollywood plot twist. Rumor has it they both knew the image worked for them. The Golden Couple label kept their name shining, their endorsements rolling, and their fan bases loyal. But after years of living in a PR fairy tale, the performance got exhausting. When the lights went out and the script finally ran dry, the truth stepped into the spotlight, and this time, no one yelled, "Cut." On paper, Nicole Kidman and Kidman-Urban were the A-list dream team: beauty, talent, accents, and just enough PDA to make the rest of us feel single by comparison. But insiders now say that once the mics were off and the glam squads went home, the unshakable bond looked more like a shaky Wi-Fi signal. The Golden Couple act was dazzling right up until the credits rolled. Nicole has been deep in her comeback era, churning out hits like Big Little Lies, 9 Perfect Strangers, and the much-buzzed Practical Magic sequel. Hollywood's darling had reclaimed her throne, but instead of her husband cheering from the sidelines, sources say Keith was too busy chasing stadium lights and late-night riffs to notice his wife's second act unfolding without him. And here's where the plot thickens. Whispers claim that Nicole's glow-up didn't just intimidate her man, it rattled him. As her name started dominating red carpets and award circuits again, Keith allegedly began pulling a slow fade, trading red carpets for tour buses and turning emotional support into a disappearing act. The rumor mill is calling it what it looks like, a textbook case of when your partner can't handle your main character energy. Industry insiders spilled that Nicole started venting to friends about Keith being checked out, barely pretending to care about her new projects, and increasingly MIA during major moments. His constant touring, once a proud badge of his career, became the elephant in the marriage, and while fans saw sold-out arenas and guitar solos, insiders whisper that the real noise came from his after-hours scene, late nights, heavy partying, and behavior that felt uncomfortably familiar to Nicole. Friends allegedly begged her to stop covering for him, to stop painting the picture of the supportive spouse she wished she had. They say she perfected the smile for the press routine, even as her patience thinned behind the scenes. By the time Keith's world tour ramped up again, those old temptations and old habits were back on the road with him. Nicole, blindsided, reportedly realized she wasn't just living with a musician, she was living in his encore of the past. But oh honey, the whispers didn't end when the ink dried. Industry tongues are wagging louder than ever, claiming Nicole started side-eyeing the company Keith kept on tour. Fresh-faced bandmates, backstage regulars who never seemed to leave, and a party circuit that made Las Vegas look like Bible study. No smoking gun has surfaced yet, but the sheer volume of rumors was enough to turn doubt into distance, and distance into divorce papers. Insiders say Nicole's work obsession wasn't just about chasing awards, it was about escape. Every new role was a lifeboat away from the chaos, a way to remind herself she still had her own orbit, even if her marriage was spinning out of control. Behind the studio lights, she wasn't just filming, she was quietly rehearsing for her solo era. Now that the split is official, both stars are apparently plotting their next acts. Nicole's allegedly eyeing high-fashion European film projects, the kind that scream post-divorce power move, while Keith's camp is teasing an extended world tour that could double as his heartbreak redemption arc. She's moving into her revenge goddess phase. He's tuning his guitar for the sad cowboy chronicles. Everyone wins. Kinda. But the juiciest question lingers. Did Keith finally come clean to clear the air, or is there still a secret humming under the surface that Nicole's keeping locked behind that serene smile? Whatever it is, Hollywood's bracing for Act 2. And that's all for today's tea, folks. Stay tuned, because if this saga's taught us anything, it's that even the prettiest love songs can end on one hell of a sour note. Until next time, goodbye and good luck keeping your jaw off the floor.